top brass at Walmart-Backed PhonePe has spoken about the National Payments Council's move to cap UPI market share at 30%. Now, remember, the deadline has been changed over and over again. It currently stands in 2026 December. Speaking to me, the CEO and CTO of PhonePe said that while they understand the intent behind the regulation that the NPCI is hoping to bring in, the approach needs more thought. PhonePe argues that PhonePe has not muscled any competitor out of business using its capital, and so no company should be penalized for being a market leader. Remember, NPCI has yet again deferred the implementation of the 30% market share limit till the end of 2026. PhonePe is the clear leader with over 46% share at this point in time. Take a look.
Speaking of regulation, the other overhang, of course, now pushed out to 2026. But you know, you've lived with this for the last many years. It's a 2-3 year cycle that keeps playing out. I mean, how do you deal with this? Are you now working with the fact that, look, we'll wait till 2026 and see what happens then, or are you working with the fact that, look, we've got to be prepared for 2026 to actually happen?
I wish this were an app update that I could sort of work on, right? I mean, some of this is just because the deadlines are cyclical, some of the build-up is. I'll say this, I think because this was the third cycle that just finished in 24 December, and because I think there's also, I think the media really starts dialing this up as you get closer, right? It's almost like this...
Are you not checking your WhatsApp every few days to see whether NPCI has
I think honestly,
sent out
the
a memo?
ecosystem has become it. I genuinely think that media, because NPCI was reporting monthly numbers for all the players, unlike a lot of other segments, the attention to the leaderboard on UPI. I mean, right now I see people reporting this person jumped to number 7 and that one jumped to number 9. It's like,
yeah, because 1 and 2 is done and dusted.
No,
So
can you tell me, e-commerce is a decade older. Could you tell me who the number 7 and 8 player in e-commerce are? Could you tell me in food tech? Could you tell me in cap tech?
Or
could
do
you
we
tell me
even
in any
report
sector?
it?
You can't. Now the point is, because the data is there, it's a talking point.
yeah.
And because they put this cap circular out, it's a larger talking point. I think this time, I think the comfort that we got, the comfort we were seeking was when we spoke to the policymakers, the regulators, ecosystem. I think one assurance that was provided was that whatever they do, I think there is a desire by the regulators to actually create a more diversified market. I agree with that.
Sure.
The fact that that burden is somehow falling on us did not sit right by us, and we express why. I mean, it can't be the entrepreneur's burden to actually reduce market share, and I think they agree with that at some level. But I think the approach to then get past this impasse has to go from circular to something else, and I think that broad understanding after 4 years of dialogue has happened, and it sort of it's translated into two things. One, everyone's agreed, no matter what happens, you don't hurt the customer. Not PhonePes, not GPays, not ATMs, not the 10th persons. You just don't hurt the customer because payments is sacred. Second, newer players have to stop calling themselves smaller players. You're small because you're new. And if you want market share, you can't just say, I want that. You got to earn it by differentiation.
Yeah.
And I think even Dilip at NPCI said this now. I think people need to give users new reasons to buy their toys.
Yeah.
I'm hopeful before 26 arrives this time. There's been so much discourse around this publicly, privately, at the ecosystem level that I think they will unleash, hopefully, the next wave of innovation on basic interoperable UPI paradigms. You need one QR in any app to work. You need one app to work. Beyond that, everyone should be able to innovate. I think because of the cap, what's happened is innovation significantly slowed down. Because now what's happening is, the large players can't launch first, okay? The small players don't want to launch first. They want to get growth. So no one's launching. And I think that's actually the only way in which you change the market.
While I get what you're saying, that you see this as a perverse regulation, anti-entrepreneurship, anti what you're doing, but do you believe that it's something that perhaps environmentally is gaining momentum?
So couple of things there. I actually don't think it's perverse regulation. I understand the intent.
Yeah.
I think the approach needs more thought. Majority of the lawsuits are in the Google ecosystem or the Facebook one. And they're of two kinds. Facebook is staring at regulation, or not regulation, I think activism around the fact that they bought out pretty much all their principal theoretical competitors.
Yeah.
Right? So they have every major social network in their stable. We've not acquired anything in payments, life till date. We built everything we have, and slowly and painfully, as we just discussed. So that argument here doesn't hold. We've not muscled anyone out using capital. Yeah. And the Google argument, which is now playing out in 50 states, and they're paying penalties left, right, and center, again had to do with abuse of monopoly, not monopoly. India had a monopoly, anti-monopoly law. We removed that in law and took a position that abuse of monopoly needs to be demonstrated, and that lies with CCI.
Yeah.
Because if you don't remove that, you remove any incentive for anyone to innovate. If being the leader of something or being large in a sector in of itself is inherently bad, somebody then publish these leaderboards on day zero so that I know I don't need to actually like go past some number, right? I'd like to believe that we trust our markets and our innovation cycles more than that.
Secondly, I think specifically to UPI,
Yeah.
there's no barrier to entry. You still have new TPAPs, apps coming in practically every month, right? NPCI is trying to create a more vibrant environment. It is a completely interoperable platform, which means effectively the consumer is not tied to any specific app, but it's a choice that they can easily migrate from one app to the other. In fact, many consumers have multiple apps.
Fair enough.
So it isn't a monopoly by design or force. It is, first of all, it's not a monopoly. We talk about
a closed loop system.
It's not a closed loop system. It's consumer choice that is ultimately playing out.